as long as you made me laugh.
Yeah.
In several scenes, to me, it's a very good 9.
I know.
Maybe I'm being too generous.
There's some films that will make you, like Dead
lot.
Serious will make you laugh, but it's a very bad film. It's about one of the baddest films ever done in Nollywood.
Hello everyone and welcome to It's a Wrap by Pulse, where we discuss everything movies as regards Nollywood. On today's episode, we'll be reviewing Ajosepo. Yeah, it took a long while to get that pronunciation. As well as, commenting on the new trend of actors becoming filmmakers, specifically on YouTube. My name is Elvis Christian, and with me, as usual, I have my seasoned movie experts. Yeah, to give their expert opinion on the movie Ajosepo. So let's start from casting or plot. Where should we start? Casting or plot?
Plot.
Let's start with the plot. So what do you think about the plot of Ajosepo?
Yeah. So I think it was. I think it had too many directions. First off, shout out to Ajosepo. I think it's a good film. I think it's a good film, and it seems like a lot was put into it without it being like a lot was put into it. If you get what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So the plot for me was, there was a lot happening with the plot, right? It was at some point maybe difficult to understand what exactly is the message you're trying to pass across, right? So there's the thing with Dakwa and Tani's marriage. There's the thing with, there's the marriage situation, failed marriage with Dakwa's parents. There's the pastor thing going on with Tani's dad and the mom supporting something like Magu and all this kind of thing. So there are like a lot of things going on. At some point, it felt as though the focus was shifted from the guys, I'm talking about the young couple, to Dakwa's dad, when the thing happened with Bisola Ayola's character. So it was like a lot was happening, and what plot is plot is a series of events that eventually make up the story. Now, for us to properly understand the story, you want to understand and be sure that the stories or the events that are happening, the scenes, make up to us understanding properly what the story or what the purpose or the message you're trying to pass across. So there's some bit of that, and also the infusion of comedy, which I thought was brilliant. But then I thought for some part of it was too much, because it felt like it was difficult balancing a good laugh, a good comic relief with, trying to project the idea of Magu as what it is, and also trying to see or make sure that the couple eventually got married. But then, like every Nollywood film, to a large extent, everything that happened had to happen for the couple to get married. So it wasn't like the marriage got cancelled or something. Which, if that happened, I'd have been, okay, this is some different twist. But then I knew that the marriage was going to happen regardless of this thing that was going on. But yeah, the plot was, a lot of things going on. But generally, I'd say it was a laughable film. Yeah. At least we laughed for some parts of the film. Yeah.
So what do you think?
I share his sentiments in the plot, and the storyline is just basically how a typical Yoruba family life is in general, with family members around you. So it wasn't too much of a difficult task to understand what's going on. And like he said, sometimes a plot to it can actually just make the movie like wow, because we already knew that at the end of the day, they're going to get they will get married, and they tried to incorporate wedding party because I kind of saw wedding party. I think the only thing that made a difference or was just different was the Magun part, because it was the same thing, like, do you understand? And trying to incorporate like some comedic, relief to it, was, some parts were very unnecessary and some were just, okay, yeah, I can see something funny in that.
All right, I think that works. The plot, personally to me, the plot was consistent for the most part, but I saw where it was headed. Right out of the gate. Even before it started. I saw where it was headed. Well, at least we laughed, because in my head it was a comedy. I came to laugh, and I did laugh. So
I think the thing, I think they intentionally had to look for something to make up for, because it felt like the story would have been shorter if the Magu
because they dragged.
Because I wanted more exposure on the Magu thing. Let people know more about what Magu is and all. It felt like the Magu thing was the entire, which made sense for the title called Ajosepo, which means like sex.
I understood at the end.
Or this thing, yeah. So it felt like that was the focus. But then it was confusing because at the beginning, the focus was supposed to be the young couple. But then going back to the mango and coming back to the young couple was like, you know,
A lot
let's
of
just
things
split this
going
and let's
on.
just waste time with this a bit. Then have to infuse the whole fatherly thing with Timini and his young brother and them not staying with your mom and all those elements or all those themes and all. But then, like I said, great attempt. I'm not lie. Great attempt, yeah.
All right.
For me personally, sorry, I just want people to understand that it doesn't necessarily mean that they're deviating from the actual story. It's just telling you, like I said, it's just telling you how a typical day can be. Do you understand? My wedding is coming up, our families are together. Some sort of drama can happen, do you understand? And it's just unfortunate that that particular drama had to happen. A lot of things could have gone wrong. The chef or the cook or
Yeah,
something could have gone wrong.
typical,
The
yeah.
party starter or whoever, the party planner might not be there. But I just like the fact that there was something different. Not, oh, somebody stole the wedding dress, the wedding ring,
Or
or
the cake fell down.
yeah. So that's the only reason why.
Yeah. All right, so let us move to casting. How do you think the cast performed as an ensemble altogether?
For me, I think that most of them played their role well. And in terms of the main cast, I don't think, what's her name, Tomika embodied her role at all. I don't think she did. I think that there was some parts of the movie where she was really struggling to be who the character was. Do you understand? So it wasn't it for me. And there was what's her name, Ronke, which fantastic and amazing actress. And for the first time, I mean, Timini actually wowed me. I'm not gonna lie. Like for me, he was the star of the show. He was the star of the show, and even Mike Afalari, I don't think he bodied his character as well.
I think with Timini's character, yeah, there were like highs and lows, range. There was room to show range.
Yeah,
as an
I think they
actor.
really pushed
So,
him.
Yeah, so I feel it's understandable that Timini actually was able to show out.
Yeah.
But with Mike Falari's character, the character itself, not the delivery, was very one note for me.
So I think it's very safe to say that he has broken that stereotype that he's not a good actor. He can be better. But this is a step. I really enjoyed
I want to
his
hear what
character.
you think, because
I know that's why
one of the
waiting to
biggest
that means you
fans
just take
of
the
Timini, so-
No, I
he's
think
number one fan.
I mean, to answer generally, I think the casting was good. I mean, it was good to see some familiar faces.
Yes.
Not unfamiliar per se, but they haven't
Like the
exactly been on the
icon.
spotlight for a long time. Talking Yemi Sholade, Ronke Oshodi also, giving her that sort of role.
Mr.
She don't
Latin.
usually get that, you know. I mean, yeah, Mr. Latin, I didn't really think his role was necessary. No, not the character, but him, yeah, because he's stereotyped for that role, you know, always acting
yeah.
security guys, even in Yoruba films. But yeah, I think Tomike did the best that she could, and I think that she
Was it enough?
I think it was fair, and I think it would have been too much if she had probably tried to go further. Reason I'm saying this is she's not. I think this is the first major feature film,
Yeah.
and I'll commend her for. And I'm not trying to sugar anything. I think it's a fair performance, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it could have been better, but I think it's a fair performance. Also from Mike Folari, I think it's a very fair performance. Like you mentioned, there wasn't a lot for him to do, but I mean, having known Mike and what he's done over the years,
Exactly.
and the films
My
he's
point
done,
too.
you understand? I think
I
it's a
was
fair
really
performance, and I
expecting-
think he did justice to his character. But I think the film was all about Timini, if you
Yeah.
ask me.
Yes.
I think it was all about his character, because if you check, you discover that Timini was in some type of way connected to everything that happened from the beginning to the end of the film. Even when he had to bring LAX up, like it's his wedding. I'm like, is it your wedding? And I mean, like I was talking
was
to
so upset.
Martha yesterday. Not that I don't think LAX is a good performer, but I'm saying that it could have been established that maybe one of the bride or the groom likes LAX. So it makes sense for Timini to say, oh, I have a surprise for you. And they bring in someone that they actually like. You know, but it seems like you still did the wedding and made it about Timini. You still ended it to Timini bringing his own guy to come and perform. You get me? But like I said, you don't take away from the fact that Timini did a very good job. I think...
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Amen.
I say hallelujah. I mean, the part where he was talking to the mom and the brother, you know, that very tense part where he had to, you know, shout at the mom and, you know, that kind of thing. I think that was the best. That's the best I've probably seen Timini in a long time.
Yeah, me too.
You know, in terms of range as an actor.
And it was very effortless.
Yeah.
Very.
I think Timini did pretty well in this film, and I'm not saying this to
Butter him on.
butter or to cover up everything I said in the past. You know,
No,
what
you
I said
stand
in
by
the
those
past,
words.
of course, it still remains.
Yeah, because that
100%.
was what was happening at
But
that
yeah,
time.
I've
but
seen
right
this
now,
and I can say that, oh, you know, this guy did some very good work here. And the film was about him. Maybe the producers or director don't know, but it's more
yeah,
a
it was
Timini
about him. It
film
was centered around him.
than even, yeah.
You know, still on casting, yeah, I like the background actors. Yeah, the ones that didn't have like a lot of speaking lines, that just reacted. I think one that really stood out for me was the assistants to the Baba.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was just my favorite moment in the entire movie was that
Was
part.
when they walked in.
Yes,
and
you understand.
The Reverend was there.
Yeah, everybody was doing their best. Let's just put it
Something,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, so I think the casting is
No,
good.
of course, I mean, they understood the assignment. They understood the assignment. I'm not sure Timini is Yoruba, but I think his Yoruba wasn't exactly bad. I mean, one other problem I have in Nollywood is when you want to cast a Yoruba person and you're trying to cast an Igbo person to play Yoruba.
Yoruba person.
I get it because you're looking for range and you're trying to see someone like Will Smith do Muhammad Ali or do Serena Williams' dad or all this kind of be African. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, but if it's not working, why not just get a Yoruba person to just do it?
And there's a lot of Yoruba people
Yeah, a
that
lot of
would
Yoruba
actually
actors,
take
Yeah.
you understand?
slash it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Timini did well with the Yoruba. Even the infusion of some Yoruba beat with Tommy Care and Mike Folari, they didn't exactly do justice to Yoruba as Yoruba people
Yeah,
themselves.
they didn't. They
You know,
didn't.
I thought, but then that's to show you that they're probably not into Yoruba like that. They're just Yoruba people, which is fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally casting was good.
All right, so let's move to cinematography.
Yeah, for me, cinematography was good. I felt they could have worked with more short compositions. I'm not exactly sure what the cinematographer was, you know, but I saw some. I saw some angles that could have been properly figured, you know, which is why I know for free that shortlisting for directors is a big deal, you know, and also working with a DOP that understands your plan, like your direction or vision for a particular film is very important. You know, that's why I always like to see when there's a director and a DOP and they've worked together for years. It means they've sort of understood each other. I understand your direction, I understand. So for me, it wasn't, I felt it could have been more with short composition and I felt the angles could have been more. I also liked, like I always mention, face photography. I think it was established a bit in this one. But it would have been nice to see more and rather than just the wide, medium, and close-up shots that we are used to seeing in Hollywood. You get me? So for the larger part of it, I think it was good. I think it was fair. You know, I think they could have explored certain things better. But then I saw that everything happened in a particular house.
The house, yeah.
But then I saw the Lagos bridge and I saw Ibadan. So I'm sort of confused. Like, you know, the Lagos Ikoyi thing.
Yeah.
Show. That was like some
think that was
It's like a
when-
staple
I think that was
Nollywood
when-
yeah,
thing.
it's like they just add the shot, the drone shot. And
I
let's
feel
just
like
use
it's
it.
like a stock video they download from somewhere. and just
No,
put
I
it.
think it was when Timini was still in Lagos. You know, he brought his father.
So he drove from there to Ibadan.
It's very possible. I do that.
Agba.
No. I don't mean. Like, I'm just saying. Like it's very possible.
I don't think that's what happened. For me, the film made it feel like they were all in the same city.
Yeah.
Maybe one was just in
Maryland,
you know,
maybe,
the other one was
okay.
because I mean that tower thing, that Ikoyi thing just came up once, and the next thing I'm seeing Ibadan. You know, so but I stand to be corrected. Maybe they were coming.
That's
maybe,
when they all
maybe
arrived at
Timini drove
Ibadan.
from Lagos. You get me to Ibadan.
But he did drive with that though.
Yeah, I know he drove to there, but I wasn't sure it was from Lagos to
It was
Ibadan.
established that, okay, I drove from Lagos.
Yeah.
to-
I mean, maybe that's the reason why the bridge thing was incorporated in it. But
Okay.
I mean, it's a cliche thing to be using that bridge all the time.
Well, then they need to have more stabs. You know, there are better places. If you're using Ibadan, go and watch Breath of Life. If you're using Ibadan, you want to see more, you know, stabs of places in Ibadan that can be used in the film. So you don't want to be using the Lagos place for Abuja or Lagos.
Yeah.
Imagine shooting in Abuja and you're showing Lagos. Or shooting in Lagos and you're showing that Abuja, welcome to Abuja.
Yeah,
It won't
Abuja,
make
yeah.
sense. I think one thing I want to add again is continuity. I think they had some continuity
Oh
issues
yeah, issues. Yeah.
with day and night. I think they were struggling seriously to show it was there because the film was so. I think whoever was in charge of that should be sanctioned. Maybe reduce his money or something.
Damn.
They went to. It was so obvious. That's
It was
why.
very obvious.
Right. They went to the Babalawo in the night. They brought the Babalawo in the morning.
And it was daytime.
It wasn't in the morning, but when the Babalawo was in the house,
Even when the nurses
it was in the
came,
morning. When the nurses came in Mr. Latin's character, it was
was
at night.
night.
But when they now got to the room,
It was morning.
it was morning. So and maybe they missed it. This is a bit things that you don't want to exactly take.
It's too
I
important
mean, that's
to
the,
miss.
important
that's
to
the
miss,
point
yeah.
for private screening, but they weren't paying attention to that.
It's too important, but like I said, these are just part. It don't mean the film is a bad film.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's quickly gloss through sound. What do you think about sound? The score generally.
So I think the levels were not properly coordinated, meaning everything just was on the same level. So when you're far from someone, your voice is probably lower than when you're here, than when you're in front of the
Yes, I get
camera,
that, I get that.
right? Now, if you watch, you see it a lot in Ronke Oshodi's part when this person was talking and she was far off. Our volume for some reason became higher than the guys that were closer to the camera. And all those things matter because when you're doing sound design, you want to be sure that somebody's volume or level is not higher than the other person, particularly as we're watching it. So those bit, and I think the sound guy was more concerned with the voices they have to be clear.
Yeah.
People need to hear what you're saying. So he was just raising the levels, regardless of how far you are from the point of
Almost
contact.
makes it sound like a voiceover.
Yeah, yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, the sound was clear. I'll give it to that, and the volume was also, at least I could hear it very well.
Very clearly.
Even Martha had a reservation about the sound a number of times because we saw the film together, and she was like, maybe there's nothing woo about it. It's just maybe. I like to go to the cinemas when nobody's there.
It was actually
Yeah,
nice.
where nobody would say this. Yeah.
You know when you watch it with Nigerians and it's something that's not so funny, then
Let me
everybody's
even tell you,
roaring in laughter.
it was so bad that it was just 4 of us, myself and Dami and one other lady, and she was the loudest. I mean, and I could imagine if there were like 10 of her.
Yeah. So just for people, that means people are not really watching Ajosepo.
I don't know. Dami said,
Well, I mean,
and I
there's
quote,
another thing I'll talk about, maybe another episode. I think you
seasonal.
have to understand timing for release.
Yes.
You have to understand timing as a producer. Don't just put your film out at any time because it's done. You want to put it out now. You have to understand timing. You have to understand the market that you're selling in, and you have to understand economic perception. Things are not exactly in the high enough for a lot of people to go to the cinema to see a film. But there are some moments when, regardless of the economic situation, people want to go and ball and happy and just have fun.
And that's what I think that's one thing Funke Akindele understands.
That's what she did. Yeah, it came out in December into January. So and people were looking for distractions. A lot was happening, So it was a good time to go and unwind. It wasn't like it was the best film in the cinema at the time, but and also the marketing on our part,
of course,
did justice to that.
All right, so let us move finally to directing. Kayode Kasun, what do you think?
Well, I mean, okay, you want to go, Marco? I think Kayode is a very fair director. I think he's someone that has done pretty well for himself. He's done a number of films. And he keeps getting jobs, which I'm happy for him. It's a chance for him to do better than his last direction. I think I talked about a film that he did recently that I think that was the one with Timini and Adeyemi Okolawo. All is fair in love. I felt the direction was it all, I'm not sure it was All is fair in love. I think I can't remember now, but I can't remember the film. But I think I've come here to say there are some films that he's done and I feel the direction was not there. This is not great, but it's not bad. Like I said, it's a very decent direction. Probably another director would have done something better or maybe worse, but this is very decent. Like it sits in the middle.
Yes,
average. Yeah, average.
He passes.
Yeah, average. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to more directions from him. I think he's a fantastic director, and I want to see him do more. I want to see him get actors to show.
I think it was One Too Many.
One Too Many. What was One Too Many? I can't remember the film
directed.
again. What film was that?
A Kayode Kasun film.
No, like who was the actor in the film?
Dakore.
Oh yeah, was it One Too Many?
Yeah, it was One Too Many.
Was it One Too Many? Wasn't bad. Direction wasn't exactly that bad. But yeah, shout out to that guy. It was a decent direction.
All right. Do you agree?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm indifferent.
Yeah, indifferent.
Yeah.
I'm so indifferent sort of means average.
Yeah.
You understand? He didn't like smash it out of the park, but he didn't underperform.
Yeah, he kept it within the Nollywood.
Oh.
Yes.
Is that
because it's a typical movie. Like I said, they copied. It looks like they copied
The Wedding Party.
and most of Nigerian movies these days are party. So
I'm not sure they copied though.
It seems
I think it's just a typical Nigerian wedding.
they copied the.
Maybe wedding party was like the first to do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying,
so
they-
it's
Yeah.
sort of,
But it's a
like
typical
a-
Nigerian wedding. It's a typical Yoruba wedding. How do they dance in when Yoruba people want to show themselves? So it's a typical. I think it's a typical Yoruba, like comfortable family or
Yeah.
be rich family Yoruba, and the dad doesn't look like a poor guy from the film. It's a rich pastor. So yeah,
all right.
I think it's comfortable.
So now let's rate Ajosepo. Like, give me a rating, and would you tell people to go watch it?
I mean, I put a rating on my IG. I told people to go and watch and tell me what they think about it.
Yeah.
I give it 6.5
Over 10.
over 10.
Uh-huh.
And I'm doing this not because I'm doing this for effort, and I'm doing this for because they tried, and I'm saying they tried because if it looked expensive, but it also didn't look expensive.
Yeah.
You get me? Like the expensive part is probably the actors, some aesthetics and all.
Costume,
But you look at
makeup.
it, everything was done in one building. Don't mean that expensive films can be shot in one place, but it was done in one building, and they sort of made good use of everything that they had. The acting was really good. 6.5. Yeah, I think that's about one of the highest I ever given any film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a solid 7 over 10 because I enjoyed the movie. I mean, aside from the cliche scenes that were imputed, I actually enjoyed the movie. And will I encourage anybody to see? Yeah, it was a very good laugh and it was interesting. Big shout out to Timini, by the way.
Yeah, this Timini thing. Okay. Well, personally, because I tend to not really look so critically when I think it's a comedy,
yeah.
right?
Just
because when
laugh.
I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it's a comedy. I want to laugh. So I came in as long as you made me laugh
Yeah.
in several scenes.
There's
To me, it's a
no
very
reason
good
to-
9.
I know.
Maybe I'm being too generous.
There's some
but
films that
I
will make you,
laughed
like
a
Dead
lot.
Serious will make you laugh, but it's a very bad film. It's about one of the baddest films ever done in Nollywood.
When something is so terrible that it's funny.
Yeah. So you're laughing not because it's funny.
Yeah, just because they
It's
wasted
very
your
bad.
time
You're
and it's
I get
bad.
that.
you rather laugh than cry.
That's Birds of Prey. I don't know if you watched Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn.
No.
Yeah, that's how
was
terrible.
like
it was
that.
so bad that I was laughing at what I was watching, and it was not a comedy.
And you're angry like...
Yeah, it wasn't a comedy
I
at
can't
all. It
believe
was
I'm watching
fantasy drama, and I was laughing at it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is all we can take on today's episode of It's a Wrap by Pulse. Do check the movie out if you want to. Tell us if you agree or not with our review, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.